Hello, 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 hello. Welcome. Welcome to another stream. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we have a very, very interesting stream for you. Well, we're flying the 777-300ER by the PMDG for the first time on live. So that should be interesting. Just getting some last minute things ready here before we jump into the PMDG 777-300ER. So today's flight details are up there on the screen. As you can see, we're flying the 777-3ER, registration TC-LJJ. Interesting. The liveries don't match, obviously, because it's been repainted for the Champions League livery that we are sporting today. Very nice looking livery, this one. Beautiful, beautiful looking livery, this one. Look at that. Gorgeous livery, this one, isn't it? It's absolutely gorgeous. We do have some airport ambience going on here, which I feel is a little bit much. So I've muted that for the time being. Give me a second while I switch the sound to the correct profile so you guys can hear it nice and loud. There you go. I'm sure everyone's able to hear it nice and loud. Okay, brilliant. Brilliant. Let's see, has anyone chimed in? Has anyone chimed in? Not yet. Okay. So today we are going from, hello there, Anas. Hello, 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 hello. How are you doing? Today we are going from Palermo in Sicily, Italy, LICJ, Falcone Borsellino Airport. Okay, Falcone e Borsellino. So Aeroporto Internazionale di Palermo, Italy, eh? And we are flying over to Istanbul in Turkey, obviously. All right, we're flying to Istanbul Airport in Turkey, code LTFM, Lima Tango Foxtrot Mike. Is M Mike? It is Mike, isn't it? Yeah, well, whatever it is. Okay, great. Let's have a quick look at Palermo. It's a handcrafted airport already included in 2020. Okay, obviously we're in 2020 right now. We're flying the PMDG 777-300ER, which is yet to be released for 2024. Now, one interesting fact about Palermo Airport, you can't go inside. Using the drone mode, it's not going to let you. It's not going to let you go inside through any of the glass. So you have to observe it a little from outside, which is not bad. For handcrafted airport, it has the inside as well. So given that it comes included with the simulator, it's pretty decent. Can you give us the full screen view? Most certainly, you can have it right now. I think just to show the airport, I'm going to leave it in the on the ground view for now, Anas. I'll switch it just in a bit, all right? Just in a bit once we're done looking at the airport. But as you can see, the airport is modeled really well. You can look inside from outside, which is pretty much all you need to do, in my opinion. Unless you're shooting extremely cinematic videos, this airport will just... Look at that. It has very good detail. Absolutely brilliant. It has a nice little parking lot, although the cars are not very high resolution, but it has good parking modeled out here. It has a couple of buildings here modeled. So not too bad at all. A bit of construction materials here modeled as well. A couple of Scania looking trucks here modeled. Not too bad, not too shabby. Some sort of, what I would assume is some sort of public transportation place. What is this? What is this? I have no idea what that is, but yeah, okay. We've got some signs here, some ads. It's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. We got, look at that. All this already included in the simulator, which isn't too bad. Okay, we have a bit of traffic here today. Ryanair, Swiss, ITA, not too shabby. I believe an EasyJet in the distance there. Very nice control tower as well included in Palermo. So all in all, a very, very nice place. Volotea and another Swiss. Very nice rendition of Palermo. Look at the control tower as well. Again, we can't go inside, but look at that. Not too shabby at all. Very, very nice. Look at that. Even the staircase inside is pretty much modeled. That's pretty cool. I like that. We got solar panels here. Very nice. What is this building area? Don't know what this is, but I assume that's some sort of domestic place, but very nice. Okay. Anyway, fire truck area, probably. Flight services here. Very nice. A little airport. The ground markings, as you can tell, are very, very good in Palermo. Excellent ground markings. The runway is also not too shabby. Very nice. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. Anyway, let's head back in here to our aircraft, which is obviously the 777. Let's have a look around this gorgeous aircraft. Beautiful stuff. Okay. Very nice livery here. Champions League livery for Turkish Airlines. Looks really nice. Very, very nice. High fidelity stuff. Especially if we go overhead here. Very nice detail and touch there. As usual, the 777 by PMDG. Looking absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Look at the level of detail. Very nice. Okay. So, we are ready to jump into the cockpit here. And we shall get ourselves up and running. Okay, now we shall now switch to the view that Anas has requested. And I shall jump into the cockpit as such. Very, very good. Okay, first things first, let me go into our FMC here. Let's go to ground operations. We've got ground power connected. We've got chocks connected. That is very good. Let's go to our electronic flight bag for the day. Request our data from SimBrief, and we've got LICJ to LTFM, which is our route for the day. Palermo to Istanbul. So here we are in Italy, Sicily, Palermo. Heading on over to Istanbul. And in Istanbul we have, if it will allow me to, okay, I'm not going to bother with that because, there we go, much better. There we go, Istanbul LTFM right here. The old airport is somewhere here. We're going to the new one. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and turn on our batteries here and switch to external power. Nav lights are already on. Let's arm the emergency lights. Let us switch all our passenger signs to automatic. And that is pretty much all we need to do. We don't even need to turn on window heat just yet. So we don't need to do anything else here apart from turn on the ADIRU, the passenger cabin utility, in-flight entertainment, and all that stuff. We'll turn that on as well. We can do that as well. Brilliant. Okay. Excellent. Now, let's go ahead. We'll wait for the screens to boot up and all that stuff. While that's happening, how long is the flight approximately? Very good question. Very good question, Mr. Anas. And to answer that question, let me tell you, today's flight is expected to take, the block time is given as around 2 hours, 21 minutes. We're going to obviously make it much shorter. And air time is given as 1 hour, 53 minutes, which is roughly 2 hours. But I will see if I'll look into using fast forward during the live stream, just so we keep the live stream short and sweet. I'm thinking of using the fast forward option that I have integrated really nicely into Flight Sim that I used in the last live stream. I'll show that to you guys again one more time. Okay, so let's look at GSX here. SimBrief is, we'll reload it. Reload SimBrief, excellent. Still waiting on the screens to load up here. That's taking longer than I expected. So that's interesting. That is very interesting. Oh, screens are coming up. They are coming to life here. While that happens, let's come here to our FMC. Let's go to FMC. Position, let me clear all of that. Let's initialize our position by going and picking up our GPS coordinates, dropping that in the inertial position. And we've got that set up here. Very good. Now, for our... there we go. Things are coming to life slowly. For our position information, we've set that up. Reference airport today is LICJ. So let's set that up, LICJ. And as you probably noticed, our screens have come to life. Very good. Our route for the day, LICJ to LTFM. Okay, brilliant. Now, let's go to our route request and request the SimBrief data. Let's set the payload from SimBrief, set the fuel from SimBrief, and we'll select the route. And that should take a moment while our route is being requested. Okay? So route is being requested here. Let's see how this goes. Route request sent. Waiting for the route to come in. Okay, we'll load the route. Route is being loaded. Okay. We should get an activate button ready somewhere here. And okay, there it is. Activate button, execute. Brilliant. There we go, just like that. Our takeoff runway for today is 07 out of Palermo. Execute. We've got our route here already given to us. Let's go to the legs. No, let's go to departure arrival. Departure out of Palermo today is Rosa 6R. Rosa 6R, and the runway is obviously 07. Let's go to arrival into LTFM is going to be Drum to be. Drum to be. And 17L, runway 17L is what we're landing into. We'll use ILS 17L. Let's use Y. Execute it. Let's go towards our legs here. Any discontinuities? Yes, we do have one discontinuity. Tigzu. Put that in there. Any other discontinuities? None. Execute that, please. Now, let's come here. Let's put in our zero fuel weight here. Gross weight there. Cruising altitude is given us 37,000 feet. SimBrief recommends 38,000. I'm going to stick with 37,000 here. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with 37,000. I'm not going to... SimBrief tells me to go 38,000. Should I do 38,000? No, I'm going to keep it at 37,000. So I'm just going to say accept the data here. That's done. We're not using any derating of thrust today. Flaps today. What is the flap setting for today? That is something I'm not entirely sure about, to be honest with you. So let me see what it says in terms of flap setting. Flap setting 5, not 15 like we've been doing so far. Okay, there we go. Let's put in our reference speeds, and that about finishes it. If we go to legs now, we have all of this available. We don't have any problems here. Perfect. Okay, we've got our flight plan set. Now, while that is set, and that's all fantastic, let's head outside our aircraft for a second here. Let's go to GSX. I do have the SimBrief... Sorry, I do have the GSX profile for Palermo installed. I believe I do, but it's not working exactly the way I want it to. Let's request boarding here.
Requested.
Okay. And the gate is about to be attached. Very, very good. Let's see if we'll be able to see some passengers walking through this glass jetway here. Hopefully we will. I'm not too sure because we don't have glass available here. Nonetheless, let's find out, right? Okay, let's head back inside here. Let's set the local pressure as 30.06. That's fine. Flight directors on. Cruising altitude at... Okay, sorry. Attach tug. No. Let's set this to 37,000 feet, right? That is what we have. So 37,000 feet. Come on. There we go. 37,000 feet. Let's look at our... Okay, we've got everything done. Very good. Speed 200 is fine. LNAV, VNAV, everything is looking good here. That is just fine. That is just fine with us here. Brilliant. Now, let's see. Will we see passengers coming into the jetway? Let's see if that's possible. Unfortunately, we're not seeing any passengers here. Huh. That's not nice. Come on, GSX. I thought I did the necessary. Boarding passengers now. Okay, it hasn't begun really. So let's see if it actually works, right? Let's see if it actually works. Okay. Waiting for that to happen, and while I do wait, let me go ahead and head back into the cockpit for a second. Go, just like that. Is there anything else we need to configure in the cockpit? Pretty much nothing else. Ah, look at that. We can see the passengers' feet underneath here. We can't see it here. That sucks. So I don't think the GSX profile has worked for Palermo. It has not worked for some reason. Yeah, it hasn't worked. Unfortunately for us, it hasn't worked. Oh, there's something I'm missing. So we can just see the feet of the passengers here. Anyway, not too bad, not too bad. We'll be able to at least enjoy our deboarding process in Turkey. So I'm not too worried about it. Head back inside here. What else do we need to do? What else do we need to do? Pretty much nothing. We're just going to wait for our boarding process to at least finish halfway before we turn on the APU and request our pushback here for the day. Everything else is looking on point. We're not going to request fuel here from SimBrief today because we've already loaded the fuel. There's no point in going back and setting the fuel to empty and then requesting the fuel and then loading it. There's no point of doing that. So we're not going to load any fuel using GSX today. We're just going to enjoy the boarding process as it happens for the time being. And then we're going to head on out of here. We're going to head on out of here to Turkey. Ladies and gentlemen, Turkey, LTFM. Looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to fast forwarding. The cruise part of today's flight. Let's head inside, have a look at the views a little bit. Lovely. Passenger views are looking great here today. We do have very nice cabin as well. Very nice Turkish Airlines cabin, and there are the passengers loading in. What do we have? Oh, look at that. Is that Brad Pitt? Is that a picture of Brad Pitt? It is. That is Brad Pitt. Okay, very nice. Got very nice seats. I love this color on the upholstery. Turkish Airlines looking very, very nice. We can have a look around if we like at the cabin. If we want to, we can do that. Look at this. It's a beautiful looking cabin. It's a beautiful looking cabin here. Oh, hello there, kid. He's walking with some purpose there. There you go. Lovely looking cabin. Let's see what the business class looks like. That's what I'm interested in. While we watch our passengers board, let's go take a look at our business class. Remember, we've got no packs running at the moment, so passengers are going to get uncomfortable real soon. That's okay for now. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Okay, we got some sort of business class. I think this is economy premium right here. Yeah, that's economy. This is economy premium most likely. And this should be business class. Or unless I'm terribly mistaken, that should be business class right there. Yes. Yeah, it is. There we go. For some reason, my passengers are not sitting once again, but yeah. Pretty much that is the configuration I believe that we're flying in today. Okay, let's head back into the cockpit. Here we are. Let's see, what is GSX doing at the moment? 84 passengers already boarded. That is quick. Very good. Okay, let's just wait up for the passenger loading to complete. And once it does, ladies and gentlemen, we will get on out of here. We shall get on out of here. Anas, how has your day been so far, my friend? How are you doing? How are you doing? Did you enjoy the failure that I did for you? Did you enjoy the last stream? Did you get a chance to see that? Where I landed the ATR with no gear as you requested? What did you think about it? What did you think about it? Did you have a chance to look at it just yet? Okay, I think we're pretty much done with our boarding process here. Let's just go inside and get that APU running. Okay, so we'll get that APU running right there. We'll get our window heats going right now. Wait for the APU running sign. Yes, that was really cool, and I didn't think it would land without a gear. Yeah, but the ATR it's pretty good. Very nice, very nice. Thank you, Anas. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Seems like a very lonely day for us here in the stream, just you and me. Just you and me hanging out. Very beautiful. Okay, I believe the APU must be finished. Oh, still waiting for the APU to show as APU running. Once that does happen, we'll be able to request pushback here. Just something I'm looking forward to. Something I'm looking forward to. Let me just turn on the passenger signs here. Passenger signs are on. Waiting for APU. Once APU is ready, we'll disconnect and we'll get up out of here. APU running. Let's go to GSX. Okay, how are we pushing back today though? Let's discuss the pushback for the day first. How are we discussing our pushback for the day? So we're supposed to be taking off from runway 07. Yeah, 07. Oh, that nearly reminds me. Before we go request any pushback, let me show you guys today's route. I have forgotten to show you guys today's route on little nav map. So if you take a little look at little nav map here, we are parked right here at the gate. We're taking off from runway 07 today, out of Palermo. And we're heading on over to Istanbul right here. Okay, we're using that is a wavy little arrival procedure that we're going to be using into Istanbul, and then we're going to use the ILS to come into runway 17. I believe it's 17R. Did we choose R or left? Yeah, left. I thought that was right. 17 left. We're going to come in and land at runway 17 left, and we're going to park ourselves into one of these gates right here, probably D19 or something like that. Okay, that is what we're going to do here today. So that is today's route, just so you guys can have an idea of how we're flying. In case you're wondering what that sound was, that was my backup UPS turning on, but we'll be just fine. Okay, great. Brilliant. Now we before we get on here, okay, you know what, as a matter of fact, let's go outside, have a look at the pushback for today. I'm gonna change the view here. change the view there, and I believe that our runway is right there. Yeah, that's our runway. So we've got to taxi. Which way are we taxiing? Let's request nose to the nose to the left. Okay, that's what we're doing. So GSX here. Let's request prepare for pushback and departure. Our release ground power. Yes, please. Sorry, I did not do that like I said I would. Ground operations. Let me put our parking brakes on here. I knew that wasn't on. Remove those chocks there. Nose right. We're supposed to go nose left. We're supposed to go nose left, Mr. Anas. Nose left.
Ciao, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Okay. So we'll go nose left. Okay. So I also wanted to show you guys, I have a briefing panel here installed. It's a free toolbar that you can pick up from flightsim.to, I believe, and it gives you all the basic information downloaded from your SimBrief plan. Nice and easy. Okay. Gives you also access to the raw OFP if that's what you want, right here. And it also gives you access to the map, so we can see today's route here pretty easily. Look at that. Nice and easy. We're able to see today's route and monitor progress from within the sim too. So this little panel is available for free from flightsim.to, if I'm not wrong. So I use this to get all the data I need pretty much. Okay. And same with the flight sim rate selector, the sim rate selector. It is also available for free from flightsim.to, and it is pretty cool. It helps me to control the flight sim rate very, very accurately and easily. So that's what we'll be using today to skip through a little bit of the cruise here. So that's going to be interesting to look at. Just make sure that the sim rate is actually on 1, and perfect. Okay. Pushback has been attached. Let's see. Has it been attached yet? Okay, it has been attached. Oh, there's an EasyJet taking off right there. Bye-bye. Bye. Okay. Nose to the left. Head into the cockpit here. Release that parking brake just like that. Pushback should begin actually. There we go. Let's go up here. Let's turn these on by switching them to automatic. Fuel pumps on. Beacon lights on. APU bleed is already running, so we don't need to worry about that. We're ready for engine start. Let's start with the left engine today. Left engine. N2 rising. Perfect. N2 is rising. Excellent. Okay, coming up on 2025, and we can flick open our fuel cutoff lever here, and we can watch the engine roar to life. Brilliant. Also got a Ryanair behind us starting up as well. Okay, while that is done, why is it showing as engine shutdown? While that is done, let's go ahead and turn the second engine on as well. While we wait for pushback here to complete. Just need to turn left to turn onto the runway. Very good. Okay, 21. Flicking open fuel cutoff for the right-hand engine. Excellent. Very beautiful sounds here. Anas, drop an emoji if you're having a good time. Okay, we need to go and set our parking brake here. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Got all of that running. Very, very good. Logo lights, wing lights, we don't need them. Do we need any other lights at the moment? No. Can go ahead and... Ah, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Anas. Let's see. Oh, that nose gear release was pretty sudden there. Let's go ahead and drop our flaps, shall we? Let's do that to flaps 5 is what we're doing. So let's watch our flaps drop here. It's gonna take a second here. Lovely view out the cabin window. Very nice. I love this livery of the ITA. If anybody here is watching this video, I flew an ITA A320 from Greece to Palermo years ago. About a year or two ago, I flew an ITA A320 into Palermo from Greece. Flaps are dropping here. Very nice sounds. Beautiful. Lovely. Flaps 5 set. APU still running here. We don't need it anymore, so we can go ahead and switch it off. And that will bring all the bleed to life as such. Very, very good. Auto brake to RTO. We don't need to arm the speed brakes. Very good. Okay, we've got hello, bye bye. Thank you for waving to me. See ya. Bye. Okay, cool. Let's turn on our taxi lights here. That pretty much means that we are ready to get ourselves out of here. Okay, so we are ready to get ourselves out of here. Passenger signs are on. Everything else is looking good. What on earth is this thing doing here? Get out of our way, goddammit. Okay, there is nothing else here that I can think of that we need to do. Very, very good. Everything looks good here. And let us get up out of here. All right. All right. Release that parking brake. Well, we gotta get into the... There we go. We're rolling. We're slowly rolling. I haven't given it any amount of positive thrust just yet. Just looking at the views on either side for the time being. Look at that. Look at that. That is very nice. Very, very nice. All right. Let's crack open our throttle here just a little bit. Let's head ourselves to our takeoff runway 07 today. Okay. I guess we could turn around right here if we like. We can turn here. Yes. We could turn it right here. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Okay. Pay a bit more attention there. Going a little quick there. That is not a problem. We need to turn to our left now. Lovely, lovely ground markings here at Palermo. I do believe I have some sort of enhancements installed. I have a runway airport sign improvement. I don't know what it's called. I forgot what it was called. But I do have some sort of improvement software installed from the marketplace. So that is why I believe some of these signs are a little enhanced here for me. But anyway, looking good. Okay, brilliant. Let's get ourselves on line with this taxiway if we can. Cabin is ready for takeoff, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very nice. There we go. Looking good out this passenger side here as we leave Palermo. I love the wing flex. I love the wing flex on the 777. Just absolutely gorgeous. And the best part is I've flown on a 777 more than any other aircraft. And this is exactly what it looks like out the cabin. Exactly like this. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. Very nice. Ooh, we've deviated a little bit there from the center line of the taxiway. Not a problem. Okay, there's a runway ahead. I'm not really worried about that. I'm just gonna go ahead because we're not using ATC today. So is anybody here? Well, if there is, excuse me, they're gonna have to wait. Lovely. Look at that. What a beautiful aircraft this thing is. Can never get enough of the 777. We are speeding away here. A little too much. Does the Captain Sim 777 look realistic too? Anas, I have the Captain Sim 777 as well. Now, as much as I love the 777, when I got 2024, I didn't even bother installing it. It does not look good, mate. It is not good, okay? I believe we have overshot the holding sign there for the runway. Let's go ahead, turn on our landing lights, runway turn-off lights, strobe lights on. We also need to set our TCAS before we take off as well. So while we're turning, TCAS is also set here for some reason. Let's turn this big boy around here. Okay, we're turning it around, turning it around. Perfect. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Let's put the range up there. I'm still rolling. Okay, you know what? I'll worry about that later. We'll worry about this later too. And let's go. Gonna open up the throttle here. See what the passenger is seeing right there. Beautiful. Okay, let me head back into the cockpit to make sure we hold center line here.
V1. Rotate.
Okay, let us rotate here.
Positive rate of climb.
Positive rate, gear up. Beautiful gear up. And we are climbing a little too steeply. Let's put our flaps up there. Come on. Don't go that steep. Okay, just like that. Don't overspeed here, come on. Okay, great. It's much better. Flaps traveling. I don't understand why we climb so intensely. I really don't get that. Why do we climb so quickly? Look at this. We're already at like that is too steep, man. I gotta keep an eye on this climb because that is way too steep. I don't know why it keeps happening with the 777 where the climb is so steep. I don't understand why it's so steep. It's crazy levels of climb for no reason. Anyway. Okay, we can pretty much give it off to the autopilot at this point. Okay, that is interesting. Transition altitude has already been reached. Interesting. Let's change it to standard. And just like that, we are pretty much ready. Auto brakes are off. That's done. That is done. Is there anything else left for us to do here? I don't see anything. Beacon nav, runway turn-off lights can go off. Taxi lights can go off. Waiting for 10,000 feet to turn off our takeoff lights, landing lights. Yeah, the steep climb, Anas, I have no idea why we get that steep climb with the 777 every single time. I think it's because I jump out of the cockpit a little too soon. I think I need to just keep my hands on the control and force it down a little bit, but that's a bit strange. And I think we need to put our flaps up immediately after takeoff because the speed on this thing climbs so quickly. especially because I don't retard the throttle after takeoff, which I probably should anyway. Okay, so to see what we have here. Let's increase the range on that. Let's increase the range on that slightly. Very good. Okay, everything is looking good here. 10,000 feet. Let's turn off our landing lights as well. And ladies and gentlemen, we are out of Sicily, Italy. Beautiful. There we go. Very, very nice. Pretty much climbing in a reasonable pace now. So that is interesting. I don't understand. I just have to force the nose down, I guess. We didn't even use flaps 15 today. We used flaps 5. So I think it's just too much power after takeoff. Anyway, we'll take care of that from now on. I won't jump out of the cockpit to look at the gear. It especially happens after the gear goes up. So I think I need to not jump out immediately. Maybe pay more attention. Nonetheless, we're flying out here. That is Italy that we're seeing all along here. That's Italy. Okay. And there is our little airport that we've just left behind. Well, not so little, but you get my point. On our way towards... Okay, the external views are not great with PMDG. Okay, so we are on our way towards LTFM Istanbul. Okay, so Anas, let me tell you a little bit about some of the videos I got coming up. I've got a nice little Lukla flight that I've recorded today. That's going to be scheduled sometime soon, where I take the F-35B for a STOVL flight. So that's an interesting one, a very interesting video that's coming up from me. I've got an 8-hour video planned, Silver Airways, I believe, in Orlando, and one of the islands nearby off the coast of Florida. Very, very nice. Yes, that is something that I'm looking forward to very much, Mr. Anas. And what else do we have? What else do we have planned? We've got a very nice 777 flight to Dubai that I performed from Turkey. As a matter of fact, that is also ready. Yeah, so we got plenty of flights coming up in the coming few days. I've got a very exciting new video idea that I'm about to try. Very nice landing video compilation that I'm going to be attempting to release as well. In addition to that, we're going to be looking at the 7 wonders of the world in an upcoming video. A couple of streams from now, we're going to be having one of those streams where somebody gets to pick a failure. So that is coming up too. Excellent. Okay. What do we have here now? Let's open up little nav map for a second, just so you guys can see what is going on here. What is going on here? There we go. Okay, so okay. So once we reach our top of climb, I think let's give the sim accelerating little panel a shot. Let's see how we can accelerate today's flight. We're already 44 minutes into this live stream. I don't want to go anything above 2 hours for today, especially given that I'm a small channel and not a lot of people are watching, right? So as we grow, I shall do longer and longer streams, but for now, try to keep my stream a little limited to about 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours. So obviously this route has a 2-hour flying time itself. So the only solution to that is to use our sim rate selector and fast forward a little bit. But let's wait till we reach top of climb. In the meantime, let's have a look at the cabin view. This cabin view is just gorgeous. I can never get enough of it. I can never get enough of it. Never get enough of it. What we're seeing in the distance is Italy, by the way. If you guys are wondering, that is Italy. Very nice. Okay. I believe we're pretty much at our cruising altitude here. If I'm not wrong, look at that scene right there. Just blue everywhere. Look at that. That is as blue as it gets, huh? That's as blue as it gets. Damn. Check that out. Take a quick little screenshot there. Check that out. That is as blue as it gets. Just blue everywhere. That's lovely. I enjoy that view quite a bit. That is lovely. Take one more screenshot of that. There we go. Very nice. Okay. We're still climbing here at 2,000 feet per minute. Up to 37,000 feet where we want to cruise for the day. Let's see. Now, I've been working on an in-flight entertainment thing. I still haven't been able to implement it. I need to put an in-flight entertainment while I'm streaming. Right? I need to be able to do that. I shall look into that more seriously. I really shall. You know what I could be doing? I could literally be playing Fortnite or playing a game while I'm streaming, and I could put the game up here for you guys to see in a little screen, so we can keep ourselves entertained during these longer flights. Or I could do a reaction video whilst playing. So I'm not sure how that works. Another idea that I had was to fly a sim inside a sim, where I open up 2020 or 2024 and fly a little bush flight while this flight is going on. That is crazy, isn't it? That is crazy. How would in-flight entertainment work? Yeah, so those would be some of my ideas. Either a reaction video, so we could play some random videos and I'll react to it, or we could have a game playing in the corner for a little bit of entertainment, or we could have a second simulator window. We could be discussing stuff regarding the flying. Wouldn't that be cool? That would be so cool. Okay. As you guys can probably tell, passenger signs are still on. We can put that to automatic now that we're at our cruising altitude pretty much. So we head on out here. Look at that. Pretty much at our cruising altitude at this point, 32,000 feet, just about 5,000 more feet to go. And from there on out, we should be able to fast forward this thing. So we are in Istanbul in no time, right? So I'm just waiting on just a little bit more. Given that we don't have a lot of viewers today on our live stream, I think it makes sense to fast forward a little bit, just to keep things interesting. Anything else that we can do around the cabin to occupy time? Not really. So in-flight entertainment is something that I need to work on and implement here. I'll get to it. I really will. I most definitely will get to it. It just it's gonna take a while to implement though. That is the only thing. Yeah, I could literally put it in here. Yeah, I could literally put it in here if I wanted to. Yeah. Sure. Sure, why not? And guys, let me know what you think. I am planning on starting X-Plane 12. I've already bought X-Plane 12. I already have it there. I've done very little in it. I've had to mess around a little bit with the default A330 and a few other aircrafts. That's about it. The startup procedures are pretty much the same, but obviously there's a little bit of environmental differences between Flight Simulator and X-Plane 12 that I'm still getting used to. Let me know what you think. If I started flying X-Plane 12, would that be something that interests you? Because I feel like airline flights are much more fun in X-Plane 12. Okay, the airports look better, in my opinion. The default airports in X-Plane 12, they look so much better. The runways look great, and it just feels more flight simmy. Microsoft Flight Simulator feels more like a game. Okay, I gotta say it. I always say this, and I want to say it again. Microsoft Flight Sim feels like a game, but X-Plane 12 really doesn't. It feels like a hardcore flight simulator. Oh yes, yeah, there is some wiring here on the window, yes. Did you know that you can click this pen as well? That's pretty cool, right? But yeah, there's some wiring. I have no idea what this wiring is for. I have absolutely zero clue. But check this out. Hughes, by the way, if you're wondering what it is the people who made the livery. Hughes, I believe, makes quite a number of liveries, and they're good liveries. Hughes. But yeah, we can just this is our in-flight entertainment for today, guys. In-flight entertainment. There we go. Click, 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 click. No, like on the window top right. Window top right. What are you talking about? Window top right. Are you talking about this? That is not wiring, my friend. That, I believe, is the window heating element, isn't it? Isn't that the heating element for the window? Or are they just stickers? I have no idea. It's either the heating element or it's just a sticker. One or the other. Not too sure. Okay, we've reached our cruising altitude pretty much. Let's go ahead and have some fun here with the flight sim rate accelerator. So while I'm doing this, let me have a little nav map displayed for you guys as well, so we can do this together and enjoy it. Okay, so let's zoom past this water right now. Okay, 1, 2 into 4, very nice. Notice how the color of the clock changes. Check this out. It's orange right now. Into 2 it turns yellow. Into 4 it turns red, and for all the other colors it remains red. So we can go up to into 16. If we have very stable conditions and there's no turbulence, we can maintain 16 for a while. But if there's a lot of turbulence, you can't do 16 for a while. So you see how quickly we're zooming around here? We can slow it down to into 8. So we don't have that much turbulence today. You can put it down into 4. And look at this. Look at that. That is beautiful. Let's head on outside for a second. Although we are traveling 4 times quickly, fast forward, look at how good we look, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Isn't that lovely? This is a nice way to travel. This is a nice way to travel. Look at that. Who's that ahead of us? Is someone ahead of us? Oh, he's past us. He's past us. Look at the... See, that's something I miss from 2024 to 2020. Look at how good 2020 looks. Look at how crisp it is. Brilliant. We're flying over Italy now, as you can tell from little nav map. We're flying over Italy. Let me hide little nav map for a bit because it's hiding some of your views here. So look at how beautiful that is. Brilliant. So it won't take us that long if we're going into 4, if I'm being honest. Might as well just enjoy the views. Look at that. Look at the wing flex on that thing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at that. Perfect. Okay, let's head on back in here into the cockpit. Getting a little wobbly here, but we're still on into 4, so it's fine. Let's push that up to into 8 so we cross the water. And let's head on back on land where we have a bit more of views. Then we'll slow it down and enjoy that for a bit. Then we'll speed up again till we are near Istanbul. So we're just 55 minutes into the stream, so we fast forward about 5 minutes and into 8 or into 16 and we'll be there in no time. Any new video formats you might be looking in? Yes, I am looking at a few new video formats. The landing videos that I talked about, that's something I'm looking forward to a lot. Looking forward to the landing videos quite a lot. Then I am looking forward to releasing the 7 Wonders of the World video. I also have some exciting stuff coming up. Very exciting stuff. Cool stuff, cool stuff. I'll be premiering a lot of these videos, so let's see how that does. Okay, we're coming up on a turning, which means we gotta slow down our simulation. So one of the thing about fast forwarding sim is when it's turning, you better make sure that you have a controllable rate of simulation going on, otherwise it's gonna throw off the aircraft and make it wobble all over, disconnect autopilot, all that bad stuff. But anyway, okay, got a couple more turnings coming, so we are just gonna leave it at into 4 speed for the time being. Very nice. Very, very nice. Beautiful. We're not too far away now. We're not too far away. We're actually about 30% into our flight here. And one of the things we can do now, once we go a little bit forward and switch back to into 16. Wow, I love this livery. Look at that. Look at what, I love this motif underneath it. Really cool. Once again, Anas, I appreciate you being here, man. It's really cool of you to be here. Thank you very much. That's really cool. If you compare the graphics between what I'm flying in right now and where I started off, that is in flight gear, the difference is massive. In flight gear, it is something else. But I gotta say, flight gear has more of a flight sim feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but it has more of a flight sim feeling. More than MSFS, which has a more game feeling. I'm sorry, but I feel I might pass out soon. Been a really tiring day. Sure, mate. I appreciate you hanging in here with me. That is really, really cool. And we're gonna bring this flight to an end really soon here anyway, because believe it or not, we're halfway through. This fast forward is really a lifesaver. So this straight stretch right now, we're gonna go into 16. So we're gonna be there in no time, and before you know it, we're gonna be descending. But yeah, sure. I know you've been having a rough day probably. So sure. Sure. Okay. Let's go into 16 right now. But as you can tell, because we're flying over land, there's too much turbulence. You see how the aircraft isn't able to hold the altitude at into 16? So we're going to have to downgrade a little bit to into 8 once in a while, just to make sure we don't lose the aircraft fully due to turbulence. Okay, there you go. A little bump right there. We still have control, so it's okay. We can go into 16. Still have control. Okay, still have control. Okay, now it's slipping away from us, and we gotta go back to into 8 for a second while the aircraft stabilizes itself. Believe it or not, we're not that far away from our top of descent. We really are not. Yep, top of descent is right there. Not too far away now. Not too far away now. Believe it or not. Let's try it. Let's try into 16 one more time. There we go. Very cool here. And we're still holding altitude, so we can keep going this way. Okay. Let's go into 1 for a second here, just so we can enjoy the sceneries for some time. Let's enjoy that scenery for a second. Look at that. Beautiful stuff, isn't it? I'll leave it here for just 5 minutes as we fly along here. Okay? So in 5 minutes we'll continue our fast forwarding into Istanbul, and before we know it we'll be in for our landing. How lovely is that? We'll take a bit of a look at our views here. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. Look at that. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Very nice. Look at this view right here. Man, that's gorgeous. Okay, so we're just going to leave it here for a couple more minutes and then we're going to fast forward ourselves so that we can land into Istanbul ASAP. And the stream doesn't run too long. Perfect. I like this. Really enjoying it. I wish I had more people on the stream to give me a bit more feedback on this kind of streaming, but that's all right. That's all right. Absolutely beautiful. Very nice. There's another aircraft there. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a little bit of a flashing light right there, but it's going by. Very cool. Okay, let's continue on our fast forwarding here as we come into... Well, basically we're coming... where are we flying over right now? Right now we are flying over Thessaloniki, which I believe is in Greece, right? We're flying over Greece at the moment. So in no time, we're going to be crossing over to Turkey. So we're going to be crossing over to Turkey in no time. Okay, let's go ahead and speed up our sim once again here. Let's do that, shall we? Into 4 here. Okay, we'll be outside enjoying the views. Okay, I believe we're coming up on top of descent in no time here. Let's reduce the range on this display. Top of descent is right there. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. There we go, that's Greece. We're leaving behind Greece. Lovely. Okay. This is good. This is good. I'm able to do much longer flights this way. Well, by longer I mean longer routes this way, but without taking up too much time on the stream. It's really cool. I really like this. I really like this fast forward thing. I'm gonna be definitely doing this more. Anas, I'm guessing you've passed out at this point because you're tired, but once again, mate, I thank you for your viewership, mate. Come up here. See how we're looking on the top of descent there. About a little more while to go there. Yeah, about 80 nautical miles to go to the top of descent. But lucky for us, we have got lots more speed where that came from. Look at that. Lots more speed where that came from. Top of descent coming up in just 40 nautical miles an hour. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen. As soon as we get the reset MCP altitude warning here, we'll stop our fast forwarding and we'll fly the aircraft normally from there on out. We should get that right about now. There it is. FMC message, reset MCP altitude. There we go. Let's set our altitude for 26,500. Actually, we'll set it for 25,400. That is fine enough. Okay, let's have a look at our views as we come in towards our top of descent into Turkey, ladies and gentlemen. That is a very good way of streaming. I'm going to do this more often. I'm definitely going to be streaming like this more often. This means that we can cover a lot more routes, even have return trips as well. So that makes the stream really interesting. Okay, brilliant. Look at those fluffy white clouds. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's just double check that the sim rate is now into 1. Yes, it is. Okay, let's go ahead. Has it begun descending? No, it's going to automatically descend by itself. We don't need to worry about this. Absolutely breathtaking views right there. That is breathtaking. Let me get rid of that so you guys can enjoy that view for a second. Look at this. My gosh, that is beautiful. Tell me that isn't beautiful. My word, that is lovely. Just absolute beauty. Gorgeous stuff. Gorgeous stuff. Okay, we've begun our descent there. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have begun our descent into Istanbul just like that. From 37,000 feet, we've begun descending now. So we shall be in Istanbul in no time. In no time. Okay. Let's head on outside here. Because of how gorgeous this looks. Look at these clouds, man. God damn, that is nice. That is some beautiful stuff right there. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. Look at this. Look at this. Brilliant. Okay. Can't help but enjoy this beautiful view as we come into land here at Istanbul. What a gorgeous view that is. That is gorgeous. Come on. I need to take a screenshot of that. That is gorgeous. Gorgeous stuff. That is gorgeous. Sorry about that. Had to grab a few screenshots. That is brilliant. Let's head in here. Wow. I'm just admiring the views at this point. You know, if you're a real flight sim nerd, this view never ceases to amuse you. This view right here. It'll never cease to amuse you. It just can't. It's not possible. Let's head in here now as we head on down towards where we need to. I think we still have a long way to go here, so let's come back here and enjoy this view, basically. There we go. Don't understand why there's a little glitch there, but we'll just move that this way. Very nice. A view that you can never get tired of. Okay, we are now descending in between these two layers of clouds. Some thick columns beneath us and some thin wisps above. I don't suspect we'll be long now. I don't suspect we'll be long now. Perfection. Man, this is too gorgeous. I probably say beautiful and lovely and gorgeous way too much, don't I? I know I do. I know I do. Okay. We're coming up on the point where we're supposed to be below 27,000 feet, and we are technically, so we're okay. Next, 20,000. Above 20,000 basically, but what I'm gonna do here, okay, below 22,000 and above, okay, so we can go down to 21. Just to make our life easy, we'll go 20,800, you know? Let the MCP take care of the descent by itself. And it is doing that. We're looking absolutely gorgeous, as usual, when coming in to descend into Turkey. Very nice. Okay. Very, very nice. Okay, before we come into descend in Turkey, let's have a look at some of the information here for departure arrivals. Okay, so let me have a look at what do we have in Turkey. Let's have a search there. LTFM 180.09. Okay. Okay. Q1008. Okay. Okay. Most of this I do not understand. I'm telling you right now. I need to learn how to read that, but most of it pretty good. Don't think we have an issue. Okay, great. We've got a QNH information there. Do we need to set that in here? I'm not really gonna bother with that right now. We're looking just fine, and there we go. Let's reduce the range on this guy here. As such, reduce the range on this. 22,000. We're supposed to be below 22,000. I think we're gonna make that quite easily. Yes, we are. Let's go outside, enjoy some more views here, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy some more views, because I can't help it. It's gonna be an evening landing into Istanbul as well, and that is gonna be enjoyable for us. Let me get Sky Dolly ready so we can have that landing. Okay. Yes, sir. Looking good. Okay, we're making a turn. Let's go inside and monitor that turn right there. Are we below 22,000? We will be. I hope so. We have one more nautical mile to make below 22,000. And technically we are below 22,000. Yay! Okay, what do we have for this one? 190. Let's go down to 190 right away without wasting any more time. So let's continue our descent down to 190. After that we have 170. Let me try and get ahead of the descent here by heading down towards 165. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Speed here is 200, still 280. That's okay. It's okay, we got plenty of time to reduce our speed here. What a gorgeous view to be flying into. Lovely. To be honest, 2020 isn't half bad for... 2020 isn't half bad at all. Okay, let's see. How late will we be landing into Turkey today? I don't want to be landing at nighttime in 2020 because it gets dark, and you know, one disadvantage of 2020, night lighting is terrible. So I don't want to be landing at night. We still have some daylight left. I think we'll be in Turkey before that happens. We'll be in Istanbul airport. We're already in Turkey. Let's have a look at our little nav map for a second, shall we? We haven't looked at that in a while. Taking a look at that. Okay. Yes, we are very much in Turkey at this point. There's the border. Okay, Okay, so we're very much in Turkey, and there is Istanbul Airport. We're not very far away at all. We're not very far away at all. Very nice. Okay, plenty of turns to come as we continue our descent down here. 3 more nautical miles to go. We are, as usual, the 777 views are unbeatable. This wing view right here, unbeatable. It's just too good. It is just too good. Man, that is good. That is good stuff. Okay. Very nice. I also love the lights at the end of the trip. Okay, I gotta get into the cockpit. If I ramble on for too long, we're gonna miss that. Let's head on down to, we have to be below 14,000. We can do that. Let's go down to 13,000. You know what, I'll go down to 12,800. Why not? Why not? There we go. Just about coming to dip below the clouds now. Don't think there's been a more gorgeous plane. There's not been a more gorgeous airliner than the 777-300. That is my hypothesis. It is my opinion that I put forward. A strong one, but I put it forward nonetheless. Come on, how can you hate on this one? It's also such an easy flying machine, so gentle. So gentle. If it wasn't for the stupid stuff that I do, that I know I do, there wouldn't even be a single mistake. A gentle flyer. And it's also a delight for passengers to fly in as well. I love flying in this aircraft. Love it. Beautiful. Okay. Let's go in here. Let's go back into our cockpit here. We're at 15,000. We're descending as we should. We have 6 nautical miles to make 12,800. That is not gonna happen at this rate. 5 nautical miles, excuse me, left to make 12,800 nautical miles. Is that gonna happen? I don't think so. No, it isn't. Okay, so let's do a flight level change here. Hopefully that will put the aircraft into a descent. No, it doesn't. Oh, what the hell? Okay, let me ask for a VS. Let me ask for VS, and let me pitch our nose down deliberately here, because otherwise we've already basically missed that altitude restraint there. Sometimes the FMC does that to you. It won't accurately maintain the constraints sometimes, so you're gonna have to manually take control, because right now we've missed that constraint here. That's not good. Let's now head directly down towards 10,000 feet. I don't want to waste any more time here, so let me try to do that quite quickly. Venomology, hello there, Venomology. How you doing, man? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Is this your first time here? I believe it's the first time I'm seeing you here. Welcome. Welcome. We are just about to land a 777-300ER into Istanbul. We're well on our way, well on our descent here. Coming up on 13,000 feet, just past that. And we're looking gorgeous on both sides of the window. Look at that. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Welcome on board. Good to see ya. Feel free to leave suggestions if you continue to watch my channel. Feel free to leave suggestions and suggest routes and let me know what you want me to fly and where, and I'll be happy to take those on board. But I hope you enjoy today's stream. We're coming in to make a very beautiful landing into Istanbul, and you're right on time too. Okay, as we go below the clouds here, we are looking good. Swap that view for a second. There we go. Okay, I gotta get in the cockpit, make sure we stay on top of our descent here. Switching barometric pressure to our standard, from standard to the local of 29.74. We've done that right there. Okay, we need to go down towards 9,000 feet. So let's do that. 9,000 feet. And should we do a flight level change? We can do a flight level change on that. Yeah, let's do a flight level change on that. And we're pretty much at 9,000 feet for a while now. Until... Oh! Would you look at that? 9,000 feet, and then we're pretty much into... Where does the ILS start? At 4,000 feet is where we catch the glide slope. So yeah, 4,000 feet is where we are expected to catch the glide slope. Okay. Very well, not too bad. We're supposed to be slowing down, so I'm gonna go back to VNav here, because we need to slow down to 230 knots. And I'm also gonna open up the drag here, give ourselves some bit of speed brake to help our aircraft descend and slow down at the same time. Go down towards 9,000 feet, after which we need to dip to 7,000. We got some time though, we're good. We got some time though. There we go, speed brakes extended. Let's go down here. Very nice. We're coming in a little fast here, a little hot and heavy, but that's okay. We should be able to slow down in time. We shouldn't have too much of an issue. It's a little bit of... come on. Okay, whatever. Not gonna mind that graphic glitch too much there. Okay. Eee. Got rocked by turbulence right there, just for a bit. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, what do we have next? We're pretty much on 9,000 feet for a while now. Speed brake still extended. We can go ahead and store that away for the time being. 10,000 feet. Let's turn on our landing lights here. We can turn on... well, we should have turned on the passenger signs. Anyway, cabin ready for landing. Perfect. Perfect. Anything else we need to do here? Strobe lights are still on, taxi lights are off for the time being, everything else is looking good. We can worry about the auto brake a little later. For now, we just hold 9,000 feet and there's nothing else to do pretty much. Until we need to come down to 4,000 feet. Okay. 7,900 feet. Okay. I'm gonna put this at 7.5 for the time being, and the autopilot should automatically descend us down when the time is right. For now, we're just zooming along, trying to get through these waypoints at this 230, 9,000 feet. Perfect. Good. Good. So I guess we'll be pretty much flying through these clouds. Doesn't matter, it does look good. Until we are ready for descending here. You can see the flaperon in action. Right there, that is a flaperon. I believe it's a flaperon. The other side we get, we're still seeing pretty much clouds. Should be able to break through once we drop our altitude from 9,000 feet. Again, we can notice the engine wobble on the pylons as well, characteristic of the 777. Moving on back into the cockpit here. Let's see, what are we looking at? Okay, still a couple more waypoints as expected. Let's take a look at our little nav map. There we are. Okay, so we're gonna follow that little oh my god, did we just get smacked by wind? Let's make sure that the autopilot is still engaged. Yes it is. We just got smacked by wind and we've got 48 knot crosswind. That is a lot. 48 knot crosswind is a lot, but you know, we're pretty much gonna follow this little arc here and then come down in a straight line, turn in, runway 17 left, and our ILS is, we should be at around 4,000 feet apparently when the ILS begins. I believe this is the wrong ILS we have displayed on the little nav map here, So yeah, we'll maintain 4,000 feet and catch the glide slope hopefully from there. Okay, but for now we are looking all right. We are looking all right. Okay, 9,000 feet here too. Okay, brilliant. Oh yeah, there it is. This is the arc I was talking about. Sorry, I didn't realize that I hadn't switched on a little nav map there for you guys. This is the arc we're following up till here, 9,000 feet, and then we descend slowly down towards 4,000 feet, then down here into the ILS and into the airport. Shall find ourselves a nice parking somewhere here. That sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. All right. Okay. Looking good. We can reduce the range here. We can reduce the range here as well. We can prepare ourselves. Is there anything else we need to do in the cabin? We could, if it gets darker as we descend down, turn on our logo and wing lights. Do that. Apart from that, to be honest with you, there isn't nothing else to do at the moment except let the aircraft fly itself. And again, not to myself, I needed to take control before 1,000 feet. I want to switch off the autopilot before 1,000 feet so that I get used to the aircraft before I attempt to land it. Don't want to wait too long. I wait too long to take control, and that's not cool. That is not good. Let's see. What views do we have that can make a little bit of sense here? That is lovely. That's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Okay, we've begun to see the ground there, and it looks pretty dark down there, if I'm being honest. Not entirely sure if it's raining. Not entirely sure if it is raining. Look at that, would you? Beautiful. Okay. I believe that's our cue to get into the cockpit here. Let's do that right away. There we go, that is our cue, and we're heading down towards our next altitude. VNAV is on. So let's find out what the autopilot actually does here. Let's see what the autopilot actually does here. Okay. How are we looking? There we go. We didn't even need to open little nav if we didn't want to. You can see our arrival procedure right here. Very, very cool. Okay, making that turning, and I'm hoping that we begin our descent momentarily, and we do. There we go. The FMC is doing its job, or was that just me imagining things? Let's find out. Let's find out. Yeah, it should descend by itself. I don't know. At some point, the VNAV starts misbehaving. Come on. Go on now. Descend. Descend, mate. Descend. There we go. We've begun our descent. Okay, if we come outside now, we'll be able to see Turkey very, very clearly. And we've broken through the clouds as well pretty nicely. It's a little bit dark down there, but nothing to turn on our lights about. Okay, very nice. There we go. Coming into land into Turkey. You can see a few wind turbines over there. Down beneath us. Very nice. Head back into the cockpit here. We are descending down to 7,500 feet. Okay, can do that. Let it happen as and when it needs to. Let's just enjoy this gorgeous scene as we come into Turkey. A little beach there. Wind farm right there. Oh, I wouldn't call it a wind farm. I can say wind turbines. Bit of water there. Some sort of a river or something. Somewhere around here is our airport, I believe. Okay. Going to head back in here. 6,333 feet. We've got some time before we need to do that. I guess we could descend though already, right? So let's just go down to 6,300. What's the harm? There's no harm in it. So let's go down to 6,300. Also allow our aircraft time to decelerate if it needs to. Let's make it decelerate if we need to. Great. Lovely stuff once again. Lovely stuff once again. I feel like this view is a little bit too biased on the engine. I feel like that would have been a better view. Yeah, I feel like that right there would have been a better view to go with. What do you all think? What do you all think? Is this view better? I think the other one's better. Yeah, this is better. Okay. All right. Now we need to be... Let's head down towards 4,000 feet, where that is the altitude at which we're expected to catch the ILS anyway. So let's just head down towards 4,000 feet. Okay? Plenty of time to do that as well. So no rush, no issues today. Surprisingly, we are not in a rush today. For our descent, we're well on top of it. Perfect. Nice and easy, smooth and gentle. Here we come in to Turkey. Again, I have a payware scenery installed for Istanbul Airport. The actual airport is not there in Microsoft Flight Simulator by default, so the only way to make that show up is to install a scenery. I've got a payware version of it installed, just so we can have a look at it. It is decent for the price that I paid for it. It is actually pretty decent payware airport that we're flying into. Picked it up from flightsim.to on clearance sale, I believe, but obviously it's not as detailed as like Anybuilds and Orbex and stuff like that. Although speaking of which, I have purchased a few of those as well, and I'll be showing them off in the upcoming videos very, very soon. Okay, there we go. Looking very good. Let's head inside, have a quick look once more at where we are. Okay, so We're going to be slowing down now to 205 nautical miles, but we've got some time to do that. 10 nautical miles left before our FMC decides to slow down. And our descent is going just smooth and nice and easy, and our aircraft is on top of it. We are in no rush in any way whatsoever. Okay. We should begin slowing down once we're a little closer to that point. This thing is so addictive, just like the real life thing. I just want to press this forever. Is there one on the other side as well? Oh, there's two of them on the other side. I didn't know. My goodness, there's two of them on the other side. That is not fair. That is not fair. It's a very nice way to pass your time while you're waiting for descent. Anyway, here we go. Yeah, we need to slow down. Come on, autopilot. There we go. It should be slowing down. Come on. What are you waiting for? 3 nautical miles? That's not enough. You need to slow down, mate. You gotta slow down here. And it's taking its sweet time as well. Trying to time it just right. Okay. Finally, there we go. It's kicked in a reduction of speed right there. And I believe it's going to reduce our speed very, very soon here. Let's quickly take one more look around the views as we make that turn right there. Oh, there's the airport right there. There is our airport, and we're landing into this one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure. But there is our airport. We head on outside. We can see it right there. Brilliant. Beautiful. Okay, let's head in now. Let me turn on Sky Dolly here. So we got landing replay available to us. And there it is, airport ahead of us. Flaps down, please. Let's go. Approach mode on, please. We've got approach mode here as well. Ta-da! And we are ready. Let's bring that flap down one more. Let's take a look at it. What a beautiful view as we come into land. What a beautiful view as we come into land here into Istanbul. This is gorgeous. My God, that looks almost photorealistic right there. Damn, that looks good. It's better than most videos I've seen. That is good stuff. It is. I need to fix this view so that this little glitch doesn't come in the corner, but anyway. Here we go. Glide slope has been caught. Brilliant. Let's drop that flap once more. Watch it drop. One of my favorite bits. The noise is excellent too. The sound of the flaps. Great. Let's come on out here. Prepare ourselves for dropping our gear. Yeah, we need to do that fairly quickly. We're already at 3000 something. Radio altimeter not yet in function. Let's go down to 20 on the flaps. Looking good. Now, before we drop our flaps any further, we're gonna have to slow our aircraft down. Last speed is 178 on the FMC, so we're gonna have to manually control our speed. VNAV has now turned off by itself, so we don't have VNAV anymore because we're on approach. So let's go down to 150 knots right away. Let's see. Yeah, we can go down to 150 knots. Perfect. Good. We don't need to drop our gear just yet. We still have how far? 8 nautical miles. 8 nautical miles to go towards our runway, which is still a while away. Still a while away. We don't need to drop our gear just yet. Got some time here. Got some time here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. My goodness, that is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Okay, we've got some time here. Maybe not that much time. Okay. Preparing myself to drop the gear now. Should I do that right away? I believe I should. Okay, 2500. It's time to drop the gear. Dropping gear. There we go, gears have been dropped. Let's drop our flaps now to landing flaps. Let's reduce our speed down towards 140. And let's watch our flaps travel down. Nice and easy. Okay. There we go. Let's have a look at the other side one more time. Lovely. It's getting a little dark there. It's getting a little dark. Let's turn on these lights as well. We'll turn on the taxi lights in advance. Why not? Wing lights and local lights. I'm going to turn them on as well. I'm going to turn them on as well for no reason here. But we are looking good, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I need to take control now. At 1,000 feet, I need to take control. But for now, we're looking okay. For now, we are looking alright. Okay. $1,100, we should probably think about taking manual control at this point. Okay, all good here. Okay, oh yeah, we need to do that right there. That is pretty much it. Anything else? Speed brakes armed, please. There we go. Passenger signs are on, and that is pretty much all I'm gonna do. Okay, taking manual control, reducing speed down to 135 here. Okay. Okay, what am I doing? Come on, focus. Oh god, I got my rudder stuck here. Okay. Sorry about that, I lost focus for a minute. Got my rudder stuck here. We're alright. Okay. Oh god, that is a bounce. That is a bounce. That is terrible. That is a terrible, terrible way to do that. We were doing so well, I just got distracted by all of this right here. Ah, come on. Could have done better than that. We don't even need reverse thrust today. Could have done way better than that. Switch off the auto brakes right there. That is not good, man. There was no need for me to do that. Absolutely no need for me to screw up that landing. But I did. That is terrible. That is terrible. Got distracted at the last second by stupid stuff. And here we are. Okay, anyway, let me turn off the runway right about there. I'm gonna clean up some of the stuff here. Clean up the aircraft here. Completely unnecessary. Stupidity on my part is all that was. Okay, let's turn off here. Turn that off. Turn that off. Turn that off too. And here we go. Here we go. All right. We do have landing replays available today, so we'll be looking into that momentarily. We will be looking into that. Let's see how terribly I did. Because there's no excuse for that, man. It really wasn't. I just did not pay attention. That's the only thing there is. I just did not pay attention. I got too comfortable with that landing, and I paid the price. Okay. Terrible. Terrible. I expected so much better from that landing because everything was looking smooth. Everything was looking great. And I got distracted by this bloody checklist. Started doing things that I should have done a long time ago, which I didn't do. And there you go. Before you know it, out and about. Yeah, I should have focused on the landing checklist much more. But I did not. That was idiotic of me to do that. Nonetheless, we are in Istanbul. Terrible landing into Istanbul. Terrible landing into Istanbul. I gotta get more serious when I'm flying this stuff. I really do. Hey, taxi lights are on. Yes, they are. Okay, great. Let's go park ourselves at one of these gates right here. Should I park at the same gate I took off from the other day? That was this gate right here. I could park right here if I wanted to. No, you know what? Let's keep going for a bit more. We'll find ourselves a gate in, and we shall park in. You know what? We're just gonna park it right next to this Turkish airline here. There we go. For some reason, the frame rates are going a little bit bonkers. Okay. Hello there, Mr. Arav. I just botched a landing into Istanbul. Very terribly. Unfortunately. Is this MSFS 2020? Yes, mate. It is MSFS 2020. It is MSFS 2020. Oh God, come on. End my misery. Shoot me already. This was terrible. This was terrible. I think that was one of the worst flights I've ever done in terms of landing, man. That was just pure nonsense on my end. Okay, anyway, before we go any further, let's go ahead and take a look at our landing replay. Let's see what I am lamenting about right here. So let's have a look at this. Okay, let's have a look at this landing replay, which was no excuse for it, just absolute negligence on my part. Nothing more. Anyway, hopefully the next landing would be much better than this. But yeah, let's I promise you the landing in the next 777 video is much better than this. It really is. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's find out. How terrible was this landing? How terrible was this landing? Okay, I shall start from somewhere here. Let's play that. Okay, let's take a look at that landing replay. And while this is happening, I'm busy looking at something I shouldn't be. Worrying about checklists I should have done like a while ago, and that's how I messed up this landing. Let's see. Let's see how terrible it was. And a hard landing right there. And then there. Off the center line too. Not good at all. Not good at all. That is not good. That is not good, ladies and gentlemen. That is not good. Let's take a look at this landing replay now. Let's rewind that. Let's see how this went. Okay, let's have a look at this. Let us have a look at this landing replay. Yep, pretty hard right there. Pretty hard. Not good, man. Wouldn't even have to use the reverse thrust there. Pretty bad. Gotta pay more attention next time, really. I'm so mad at myself because that was such a good approach. Everything was just so easy. The airplane was just being right. There was nothing going wrong, and it was just my stupidity that messed it up in the end. There you go. Anyway, next stream I gotta come back with a better landing than this, because this is unacceptable. That's not good. That's not good. Not good. But anyway. There we go. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed those landing replays. Let's now go ahead and get our aircraft shut down here. And hopefully we'll be able to see some passengers deboarding this time with GSX. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so we're just fast forwarding to when we parked into our gate. Again, terrible parking as well. But let's have a look at that. And let's get back in the cockpit here. There we go. Brake temperatures. Again, like I said, this is because of the landing replays. It's not because of how we landed, just to be clear. That happens because of the landing replays. Anyway. So let's head on in here. Let's get our APU running, which we probably should have done before. Let's go to the ground operations. We can't set the chocks while the engines are running. Well, we technically can, right? Let's go to ground maintenance and let's just cool our brakes here. Let's cool the brakes here. Cool down, Mr. Brake. Cool down. Is it cooling down? Kinda. Okay, cool down brakes. Isn't doing much at the moment. Replace the brakes as well, please. Thank you. Okay, while that's happening, I'm gonna put those on automatic there. We're going to turn off strobe lights. Gonna turn off taxi lights. Wing and logo lights can come to off. We are going to emergency lights. Well, technically we're going to disarm them already. APU is running. Let's go ahead and shut down the engines. There we go. Engines shut down. Let's set the... replace the tires there. Set the chocks, request the ground power. While that's happening, let's go to GSX. Let's request deboarding, please. Thank you very much. Have us, sure, we should see this moving. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's go overhead here. Turn off what needs to be turned off. Okay, we've got ground power available. We don't need APU anymore. Window heats can come off. Where are the pitot heats on this thing? ADIRU can come to off as well. Where is the pitot heat on this thing? I don't know where it is. I have no idea where it is. It's just window heat here. Huh. Interesting. Beacon lights off. Every other light here is off. Anything else we need to turn off? Anything else we need to turn off? Anything else? I don't see anything. Yeah, I really don't see anything. Yeah, I don't. Okay, very well. Flaps are up, speed brakes are stowed away, aircraft is cleaned up, and unfortunately we do not have a glass. We don't have a glass jetway here either. I should have installed the glass jetway. I don't know how to do that. I need to double check that with GSX, but yeah, that is not what it should be opening right now. That is not what it should be opening right now. Where is the door management? Close this door, please. There you go. Okay. Very, very well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that little live stream. Again, my apologies about the landing. I shall most certainly make up for it in the next flight. Need to redeem myself. The video that I'm gonna post next definitely redeems that terrible landing that I just did. It does. It really does. But for now, I think that is where we shall leave it. I shall see you in the next stream. I shall make up for that terrible landing. Thank you so much for watching. To everybody who tuned in out of Venomology, Anas, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate your viewership as usual. And I shall catch you in the next stream. Bye-bye.